Hi, this is Kavita Suresh Kumar, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to create, modify and delete AWS EC2 instance using Terraform. I have logged into my AWS management console using my ID Kavita. First, let us go and see whether any EC2 instance is up and running. Click instances. So I could see there are two instances which are there in the terminated state. We need AWS keys to create, modify and delete EC2 instances. Let's get into IAM. Click the username. Go to security credentials. So here I already have an access key. That is what I'm going to use. If you don't have an access key, you can click this create access key and generate the new access key. Today I'm going to use the Visual Studio Code Editor for writing my Terraform code. For creating the AWS EC2 instance using Terraform, we need Terraform as well as the AWS CLI installed. I have already installed Terraform and AWS CLI. Let's validate that. So we have Terraform version 1.4.4 installed. And AWS CLI version 2.9.21 installed. First, let us do the AWS configuration. So I have done my AWS configure. Now let us go and create the necessary files. First, let's create the providers.tf file. So in this file, I am going to add the provider related configuration. So Terraform provides more than 1,000 providers. You'll be able to get the provider information in the Terraform registry. And then I'm going to specify the required providers. So AWS is the provider which we want to install because we are going to create the AWS EC2 instance. So now let's provide the source, which is HashiCorp/AWS, and then we need to provide the version. So we'll say we need the version which is greater than 4.60. So we have specified the information required for Terraform. Now let's do it for the provider. Provider name is AWS, and let's give the region as US East 1. Let's save this. Now let's create a variables.tf file. So all the Terraform files have to have the extension .tf. So here we are going to define a variable which we'll be using in the main tf file. Give it description, instance name, and then we'll give the type, which is going to be a string, and then the default. So default, we'll call it as a web server. So let's save this. Now let's create the next file, which is the main.tf. So here we are going to provide the resource definition. So we are going to create an AWS EC2 instance. Then we need to give the name. We'll give the name as web server. So this is the resource type and the name which will be used to identify this resource. So let's give the AMI. Let's go and find the AMI information from AWS. Let's go to EC2. Click instances. Click launch instance. Browse more AMIs. So let's copy this AMI ID. Let's give the AMI ID here. Then we'll provide the instance type st2.micro. Then we'll give the tags be that var dot instance name. Let's save this. So now let's create another file, outputs.tf. So in this file we will get the output after the instance is created. So I want to get the output as the instance ID, in description instance ID, value is going to be AWS instance web server dot ID. Let's create one more output. This time it will be the public IP. Let me call it as instance public IP. Description instance public IP address, value dot public IP. Let's save this also. So we have saved all the files. So now we are good to go. The first step is you need to do a Terraform init. So it is initializing the provider plugins. So Terraform init is successful. Now let's do a Terraform plan. This will create an execution plan and it will provide us the information on what all it will be doing when you do a Terraform apply. So you can clearly see that. So it says this instance will be created. The plus sign indicates that something will get created, right? And then here you can, it says 1 to add, 0 to change, or 0 to destroy. So now let's do a Terraform apply. So Terraform apply, again it shows the execution plan and it asks your approval. So let's give yes. It is creating an AWS instance. So it has successfully created one resource. Let's go and validate that. So we can clearly see it has created an instance with the name web server with the T2 micro in the availability zone US East 1D. Okay, so now let us go and change the AMI. So again, let's get back here, launch an instance, browse more AMIs. So this time probably we'll use an AMI of Ubuntu. So let's search for it. So let's copy this. Let's get back to the file. So go to the main.tf. So we'll update this AMI. Let's save this. So now let's again do a Terraform apply. So again it has created the execution plan and you can clearly see it says it must be replaced because we are changing the AMI, so you cannot just update. So you have to delete this instance and create a new instance. That's why it's showing minus and plus. So let's give the approval. Yes. It's destroying the existing instance. The Terraform maintains the existing environment state in the Terraform TS state. This is what it compares with the new configuration and then provides a plan on whether it can be updated or it has to be recreated and replaced. So now it is creating the new instance. So now we could see it has created a new instance and we can see the instance ID is this and the instance public IP is this. Let's go and validate. So we can clearly see it has terminated the previous instance and it has created the new instance. Now let us go and delete this instance which we created using the Terraform destroy command. So again it has created the plan which talks about the instance will be destroyed. So let's provide the approval. So you can see here it changes the output of the instance ID and public IP to be null because we are deleting this instance. It's deleting the instance. So it has successfully destroyed. Let's go and validate that. So we can see that it has even terminated the other instance. So in this demo, we have seen how to create, modify and delete AWS EC2 instance using Terraform. Thanks for watching the demo.